Welcome, friends, or it's easier to say Sunday gathering family. We're so grateful you're here today. If we haven't yet met, I am Sandra. I'm joined with my friends Darren and Lawrence today for our Remembrance Sunday, also Veterans Day Sunday gathering. No matter where in the world you live, it's called by many names. Today, we remember those who fought so bravely or served so bravely to give us the lives that we have today, wherever they are in the world. We know many of our friends and family members who have served, who have passed. We also have people in our lives and maybe even in our Sunday gathering that are veterans of the military service. And we would love to honor you if you want to type that in the chat box as well. I've got a veteran right upstairs, my mom, Marion, who served in the Air Force. So today is a very special day today. Like I said, I'm joined by Darren and Lawrence. Darren is going to be kind enough to open us up in prayer, also do our reading and our healing today. Lawrence is, I'll introduce you to him because we only get to see Lawrence a couple of times a year. He's an evidential medium, healer, and the president of Poole Christian Spiritualist Church, which is in Dorset, England. So he will be doing our address today and also our demonstration of mediumship and our closing prayer. You have me filling in for all the bits in between, the announcements, the words for the week, the music, introducing the mediumship. So wherever you are in the world, we're so grateful you're here. If this is your first time at the Sunday gathering or you've been here many times, this is number 242. Each week we do everything we can to inspire you, uplift you, help you have a positive week ahead, reminding you you're a soul having a human experience. But not only that, is to bring in those in the unseen world through our medium demonstration so you know just how close your loved ones are to you. They're still part of your life and we will see them again. So with that, I welcome all and I will turn it over to Darren.
Thank you for that, Sandra, and a massive welcome to each and every one of you to Sunday Gathering 242. It's getting more awkward to say. It's getting longer and longer, but long may it continue. And today is obviously Sandra's already touched on, is we're coming together for Remembrance Sunday and Veterans Day. So if you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for today's opening prayer. We come together here today in unison as friends, brothers, and sisters from across our land. We come here together today in love, peace, and harmony, with that one goal within our hearts and our minds, to bring the two worlds together once again. And in doing so, we come together to show our gratitude and appreciation for all those ladies and gents that have gone before us, and remembering the sacrifices they made to give us our freedoms and the lives we live today. And we wish to show our absolute gratitude and appreciation as we are eternally grateful. As we come together under that banner of We Don't Die, we enter into this Sunday gathering with no demands or no expectations, but just allow the words and thoughts to brush through the minds and mouths of our mediums here today, to allow those thoughts and those words to be shared and expressed to all those here present, to bring us those moments of joy, healing, and upliftment. And as we come together here today, we do so in the knowing and understanding there is no prejudice within the unseen world. Each and every one of us is treated as equals, and each and every one of us will get to experience the love and the joy from the world we call unseen, as we allow ourselves once again to fall back into the arms of eternity and immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and that healing balm, allowing us to leave this Sunday gathering in a much better place. And in coming together, we'd like to show our thanks and appreciation for those in the unseen world for allowing us the opportunity to walk hand in hand, side by side, and represent your world here today. Each and every one of us does this to the best of our ability and the best of our own understanding, and we truly hope we can make you proud here today. So as we open up this Sunday gathering, we do so with smiles upon our faces, positivity within our mind, and love in abundance, so we can truly create that perfect meeting ground in which the two worlds can come together again. And we ask, as always, that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our world, to bring that love, that peace and that joy to all those hearts and minds that may be in need on this day. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen. So I'm going to take us into our reading segment. I've got two little readings for you. The first one is called Sacrifice. Once upon a time, there was a guy who was very much in love with this girl. The romantic guy folded 1,000 pieces of paper cranes as a gift to his girl. Although at the time he was just a small executive in his company, his future doesn't seem too bright, but they were very happy together. Until one day, the girl told him she was going to move to Paris and will never come back. She also told him that she cannot see any future for the both of them, so let us go our separate ways. And very much heartbroken, the guy agreed. When he regained his confidence, he worked hard day and night, slogging his body and mind just to make something out of himself. Finally, with all these hard work and the help of friends, this guy had set up his own company. You never fail until you stop trying, he always told himself. I must make it in life. One rainy day, while the guy was driving, he saw an elderly couple sharing an umbrella in the rain, walking to some destination. Even with the umbrella, they were still drenched. It didn't take him long to realize those were his ex-girlfriend's parents. With a heart in getting back at them, he drove slowly beside the couple, wanting them to spot him in his luxury car. He wanted them to know that he wasn't the same anymore. He had his own company, his own car, his own house, and he had made it in life. Before the guy can realize, the couple was walking towards the cemetery, and he got out of his car and followed them. And he saw his ex-girlfriend, a photograph of her smiling sweetly as ever at him from her tombstone. And he saw his precious paper cranes in a bottle placed beside her tomb. Her parents saw him. He walked over and asked them how this had happened. They explained she did not leave for France at all. She was stricken ill with cancer. And in her heart, she had believed that she will make it someday. But she did not want her illness to be his obstacle. Therefore, she had chosen to leave him. She had wanted her parents to put his paper cranes beside her, because if the day comes when fate brings him to her again, he would know that she kept a part of him with her. Okay, my second reading I picked because I thought it was quite appropriate for today's world. 4 years ago, on Veterans Day 2016, I had an unforgettable experience that directly applies to where we are right now, in post-election 2020. A group of dentists and student volunteers spent their holiday offering free dental work to veterans. They provided teeth cleaning, fillings, and extractions for what I believe were dozens, could be more, of veterans, from 7 a.m. until around 4 p.m. When I arrived, the line was long but steady. Music was playing. I'm Proud to Be an American by Lee Greenwood. Grills from a local food truck were blazing. It had the aroma and atmosphere of a large cookout or a tailgating row of cars and trucks at a football game. The temperature was crisp and all was right with the world. 3 days removed from the most contentious election in US history could not deter this moment. It was as Americana as you could find. I wandered around looking for a story. The service these dentists and students were providing was newsworthy enough on its own merits, but I wanted to see it from the eyes of a veteran. Unfortunately, most of the veterans had dental issues on their mind. Everyone I approached was courteous, but clearly in task mode. I asked a couple of them if they had time to talk to me, but most politely said no. Finally, under a group of shaded trees, I met a veteran with a story. Bill was a tall, thin man that looked to be in his 80s, with thick grey hair and a beard. He wore a Chicago Cubs cap, red sweatshirt, faded blue jeans, and black boots. The wallet in his back pocket was chained to his belt loop. As I walked past, he said hello, and I stopped and said hello back. What brings you out today? I asked. I have a toothache off and on for about a decade. I figured I should have it fixed before I died, he joked. Bill was from Hollyhill, a small town kind of swallowed up by Daytona Beach and Ormond Beach. It mostly sits between US 1 and the Halifax River in Volusia County. Holy hell is what they call it over there, he said. Bill's friend from Apoka told him about the free dental offer for veterans, and he drove 60 miles to be at the event. Bill, on a fixed income and a tooth extraction, is well outside of his budget and not covered by Medicare. I hope they work on veterans outside Apoka, he said. As long as you have a great Veterans Day story, I said to him, that's why I keep talking to you guys. Are you a writer? It depends on who you ask, I said, but that's why I'm here, to tell a veteran's tale. Well, you've come to the right place. Have a seat and I'll tell you about the friend I met in Germany. I sat down, leaned against a tree to Bill's left, and began writing what he told me. I was a private in the 9th Infantry Division of the Army during World War II, he said. My unit fought in Algeria, Tunisia, Italy, and Normandy. In the early months of 1945, we were fighting in the Battle of the Hurtgen Forest. It was just before the bloody Battle of Achen and just before the Battle of Bulge. I was on a late night watch by myself when out of the darkness a German soldier walked up on me, and before I could react, he handed me his rifle. Bill's voice went from calm to excited as he told this incredible tale. It was hard to imagine this soft-spoken man had fought in so many historic conflicts. He could have shot me, and I would have shot him if we weren't so damn quiet approaching me. Instead, he surrendered. I wasn't religious at the time, but I remember thinking that God had to be a part of the timing. As Bill walked the soldier back to camp, his commanding officer told him to guard the German because there was no set-up process for prisoners. The two men sat in a foxhole until morning. For hours they sat in silence until suddenly Bill's prisoner started talking. I'm not a soldier, I am a farmer, he said. And I'm not a Nazi, I am a German. Bill learned that the soldier's last name was Bauer. He too was a private. About 20 years old, Bill was not much older. He spoke pretty good English, better than any German anyway. Bill explained to me that Bauer's fought to defend his country and not because of the politics of the Nazis. They took over before I was born. No one in my town liked them, but we were still Germans, so we fought to defend our homeland, he said. It was a struggle to talk given the conditions and the language barrier, but somehow we bonded in that foxhole. We were no longer enemies, we were friends. Decades later, Bill looked up Bauer from the small amount of information he had. He knew he was in the German military and that he lived in a small town near Frankfurt. He wrote a letter to a Bauer he hoped was the right one. Weeks later, he received a reply. Bill wouldn't tell me what they talked about, except to say that Bauer was very wealthy and often helped him with finances over the years until he died in 1990. The two men had two reunions after the war, one in 1986 and 1988. Bill did not have a moral to this story. It is one of many soldiers' tales that should be shared more often on Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or any other day they want to tell them. And I have no moral either, except to say this. If two enemies trained to kill, armed with rifles in the dark of night on the battlefield, can somehow, by the grace of God, come away from not only alive, but lifetime friends, then somehow perhaps Democrats and Republicans can find a way to get along too. Perhaps supporters and opponents of presidents, senators, House members, mayors, city and county commissioners, and school board members can find common ground and build their cities, towns, and communities together in unity. And one last thing, thank you to the veterans of this community and this world and around the world. I hope you have a great Veterans Day. We will forever remember your service and sacrifice for each and every one of us. So thank you. We're now going to go into our healing segment, and Lawrence has chose a lovely song, Amazing Grace. And as usual, coming together is a perfect way of spreading that healing power, that healing energy. So, as we sit today, not only do we want to think about all those loved ones close to us that may be in need at this time, or all those people around the world that may be in need at this time, but also let's pass a thought for all those that have gone before us as we remember each and every one on this day. So, let's send our thanks, our gratitude, and our appreciation, as well as our healing thoughts for all those with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Darren, for those two beautiful readings. When I was listening to them, the one theme that I was becoming aware of was the unity, which for this day of remembrance, I'm thinking, okay, where are we going with this? This is really interesting. But both stories gave that sign of unity, that oneness, that coming together, that putting aside of all that we are, all that we are in this world, just to unite for this time, for that moment, to be what we are, spirit incarnate. That beautiful story there, the second one, reminded me very much. My father served in the Second World War, and he was at Arnhem, the bridge too far. And many years later, he was running this church as president, and he was an ordained minister. And one of our congregation, she had a husband who we never met, but his name was Fritz. So we can take a little guess at Fritz's nationality. But one day Fritz came in to the hall at the end of the service and was chatting, and my dad spoke to him. And the conversation unfolded, and memories of the conflicts came to the fore. And I always remember thinking and watching a little bit nervously, a little bit apprehensively. But when my father mentioned he was at Arnhem, Fritz's eyes lit up and he said, "So was I, but I think I may have been on the other bank." But the thing that happened then, I have never forgotten. The very atmosphere changed. This huge mutual respect between the two flowed. It was just there. It was tangible. You could taste it. You could smell it. You could touch it in the air. And that was one of my first lessons of the power of our remembrance, of our time together, be it in conflict, be it not in conflict, but wherever. When we enter into that energy of remembrance, we're honoring all those that have gone before. And do you know what? When we open up our minds and our hearts to that energy, where else are these dear loved ones going to be but right by our side? I managed to watch highlights of the march and ceremony in London at the Cenotaph, and the hundreds and hundreds that took part in the march, and the thousands that lined the streets. But underneath that, you could almost touch again that tangible essence of all those ones that we are honouring today, wherever we are in the world, however we remember them, however we honour them. But they're there. They are there. And it brings in this energy too of gratitude. Our gratitude going out to them. For at the end of that video, that wonderful saying, laying down one's life is the greatest thing that we can do. But also the gratitude from the other world for the act of remembrance, that act of not letting them go, that act of touching that wild emotion that flows. I always find at this time of year, coming up to the Remembrance Sunday, the atmosphere sometimes starts to get a bit heavy. It just feels like everything's slowing down. It just starts to slow and slow. But then, after the service, after that time of memory, it's almost like this lift appears. It's almost like this joy. And I'm sure that is the other world making their presence felt. And them saying thank you to us for making that effort, for saying thank you, for showing that gratitude. But isn't it a shame in our world that it's only at these special times that we can enter in as one, all parts equal, no one higher, no one lower, no one greater, no one stronger, just spirits in this physical world, leading this life of exploration, discovery, and unfoldment. And that energy, when you come across it, is just amazing. And I always think maybe that's just a foretaste of one of the things that await us when it is our time. When it is our time to take what I call the blink, when we shut our eyes momentarily and open them to a new world. Because to me, the world of spirit is a world of emotion, it's a world of love, it's a world of energy. Can you imagine that combined energy with no political allegiance, with no material allegiance, with no financial, no wanting power, just everybody working in harmony together? Just imagine that for that moment. Because when we grieve really for ourselves. We grieve at the loss and the absence in the physical of somebody from our life. And it is quite right that we do that. It is part of our human emotion. It's part of our makeup, our very genome, that we go through these transitionary phases. And that bereavement energy can last a short time, a medium time, a lifetime. It doesn't matter. Because we're grieving for that loss. I remember one day thinking, oh, I must phone my mum. And just as I thought it, I thought, I can't. But I can still talk to her. I can still send out that thought. And I know with the works with the church, a lot of our work is with people going through bereavement, no matter what stage. But just to give that evidence, just to give that support, that comfort, and most importantly, that healing. That when we grieve for us. Those that have gone before are welcomed into a world of their own creation, I believe, firmly to begin with. If you imagine heaven is going to be a cottage in the countryside, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where you find yourself. But after a time, with the evolution of the spirit and free of the physical, those things will change. Those things will evolve in the natural progress of our soul. So we should always remember that on our side of life. Yes, we do grieve. Yes, we must enter into these acts of remembrance. I know that we all have somebody in the other side of life that when it comes up for a birthday or an anniversary, that sadness comes. But we should learn too to temper that sadness, knowing that they are free of pain, free of suffering, free of any physical conditions that may have ailed them on this earth. And that time of transition, no matter what from our perspective, is always one of ease. Every communication I've ever had and everyone I've read of, that actual time, those of us, the old school spiritualists, the severing of the silver cord, we used to call it, it's always one of ease. And what awaits us is of our own creation. What awaits us is pure, unconditional love. And also that knowledge that they can draw close to us. And when better, when we have these days dedicated to the memory and in gratitude for those who have gone before to enable us to live this life today. And then to start to exercise that duty that if we're unhappy with this life today, the way to change it starts with self. If we look for the blessings instead of the challenges all the time, We can start working in that law and harmony of balance. And in and through doing that, we are still sending on that honor and that gratitude to those who have gone before, saying your lives were not wasted. Here we are, striving for change still, and with a glad heart and a firm will. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. Beautiful words. I could listen to you all day. You touched my heart. Absolutely. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. Well, thank you. Friends, we are going to move on now to our demonstration of mediumship. This is the time where we get to see our spirit friends in action, that they're still alive, they're well, they're part of our lives. I like to say that Lawrence, Darren, and myself are called panelists on Zoom, representing now over about 130 people in our community right now that are on this planet. So during our medium demonstration, we get a handful of loved ones that come through on behalf of all of our friends and family that no longer walk this earth. So while there will be some of you that will get a reading today, my request is that everybody listen in and pull these readings towards you so we can see just how close our loved ones are. And sometimes within those messages is just the thing you needed to hear. So although this spirit person will be having a message for their loved one, don't be surprised if it also applies to you. Just as Lawrence's address and Darren's readings and prayers, they all hit a nerve within each one of us. So a little bit about how this goes. Lawrence is a longtime medium and working on behalf of humanity on both sides of the veil. In his own way, he will request to work with those who wish to come through. Those in the spirit world, we are still us. We still have our own memories and thoughts and all those good things, a great personality. They'll present themselves to Lawrence in their own unique ways. They will use probably thoughts in his mind, memories he has, could even be the sense of smell or taste or a song. You just don't know. They will introduce themselves to him. He will give a few initial bits of information about the person who has connected with him. Now, we want everybody to listen in because the spirit world knows exactly who is watching our Sunday gathering or listening today. They do. They can be talking to Lawrence and also be right there by your side. We'll figure it all out when we get there, but it is a miracle to participate in. I can tell you that right now. So if you can understand those first few words of the description that Lawrence has about the person that's connected with him, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, this is the time I ask everybody to find on your device where that raise hand button is. You can go ahead and press it if you would. Some of you, if you're on your phone or a tablet, you might have to press 3 dots and that raise hand button will appear. So it's good to see how it works and press it a few times. It'll say raise hand, then it'll say lower hand. Why this is important is because sometimes there's more than one person that can understand all the information that has come through. So Lawrence will continue working. So ideally, we are left with one person's hand raised. Now, because we have such a large group here, please just press your raise hand button if you can understand all the information. If no one has their hand raised, Lawrence will keep working till we get to the right recipient. And also know that if you're listening in and you're one of many, and there's something that you don't understand, when it says lower hand, go ahead and lower your hand. If you are someone that works with our medium today or any medium ever in life, a couple things I always recommend is one, let them do the work. It happens far too often that people volunteer so much information about your loved one that you're left thinking, did the medium really have my loved one or did I tell them everything? So in order for that not to happen, we just ask that you simply say yes, no, or I don't know to the information that Lawrence brings. Simple as that. Yes, no, or I don't know. And he has broad shoulders. If it's a no, just be honest. No simply means new opportunity. What else do I need to say? Yes, no, or I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something after 242 times. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, just be honest. That's as easy as that. Everyone else, listen in, truly, like I said, pull the reading towards you, because you get to see just how close our loved ones truly are to us, that they're part of our lives. Of course, they continue learning and growing and exploring on the other side, but they are easily a breath away from us. And they listen to us all the time. We're going to find out someday how difficult it is to continue to communicate back to our loved ones here on Earth, and how difficult it might be to turn on and off the lights and all that, how it works. But until then, the best way we know how on our Sundays is to work through our fabulous mediums who are volunteers. So with that, we like to play a piece of music before our readings today, before our demonstration. And this is a beautiful time, just it's a lovely song by the 10 Tenors, but also to just picture your loved ones by your side. Again, with our theme today, those in spirit who have served, or those who are still living who have served, a little moment of gratitude, of thank you. And then we'll be back after the song with our demonstration of mediumship with Lawrence. So let me find our next video for you. We'll play the song and then we will be right back. That's one beautiful song. Oh, Lawrence, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you know what? Very interesting. Trying to understand when the spirit world start to make their connections with us before any sort of demonstration. And I do feel in the two videos there where we were seeing reunions of people, I know that had a really massive shift in my awareness. There was this real heartfelt emotion. Now, in the UK, we have Marines, but I'm also aware that in the US, you have Marines, and this is where I feel I'm getting drawn to. So I've got a gentleman here who is in the Marine Corps. Ah, so this is American, the Marine Corps. And that reunion has a very special and a very significant meaning there. And I do feel this is like in an airport or somewhere, because I can see doors opening and this man stepping through, and that joy, that relief to just be back in the physical again. And I almost said my son. I almost said my son. So if there is anybody out there that would understand this, so I know as a gentleman in the Marine Corps, there is this significant memory of a reunion. And I will go with son, because that just flowed. That flowed. And I feel I want to be talking to a mother here. So I'm going to continue on with this gentleman.
I'll ask our friends here if you can understand that information. Go ahead and press your raise hand button for us, please.
Thank you, Sandra. Because do you know what? The wonderful thing about this new virtual arena is, as working mediums, it's a different type of working, because I can feel this gentleman's presence here. I can feel him, and he is stood bolt upright. He's a wee bit quiet. He wasn't a loud person. He wasn't a brash person by any means. He's a wee bit of a quiet man. But I feel this quietness came on through and after his service. Because I understand here that in the service there was many challenges faced, which really did change this gentleman. And I also got a memory here with him because he's got a little doggy with him. And I know the love bomb between the dog is just sat there doughy-eyed looking at him. It's absolutely beautiful and a privilege to be part of here tonight. So have we got any hands raised?
We do not have any hands yet.
Okay. So if I can just recap, and if there is one thing that you don't understand, please just let me know, because so often we give all this information and it's just one thing and we go, oh no, that's not them. But definitely this very proud with the Marine. I can see there is on his chest some ribbons. I can't see below yet for medals, but I have a feeling there are medals there. But I know I've got ribbons as well going along here. And again, this personality and this, I want to say resolute about this man as well. I really want to say he's got a resolute character that he would, he's very ultimately dependable. If I wanted something or good advice, I'd go to this guy because I would trust everything that came out of his mouth. And I know that with his tasks and deeds and works, he would really put his all into it. He would never be one to let you down. There is this huge strength of character there. So, not at the moment.
Not a hand up yet. Is there someone who could take most of this information, or your soul's giving you that hunch that it might be you? Press your raise hand button if you would.
And if
Let's
it's not
just check.
mother in the room, it's father in the room. Right? I've just,
All right.
something just shifted there when I was recapping.
Sheila has her hand raised. Let's talk to
Wonderful.
Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila.
Sheila, if you could press your unmute button. Sheila. Could be by accident that she raised her hand, but Sheila, you should see an unmute button that popped up. There you go. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
We've got a little bit of an echo.
You can understand this gentleman that's presenting himself here, Sheila.
Yes, yes, I can.
You can. Is there any areas that I may have misinterpreted because it comes through my mind, which sometimes gets in the way? But you would understand this as son?
I would understand not a son, but a father or brothers.
Okay, that's my mistake. But you understand as well, please, this reunion that happened. And am I right in this was in an airport or somewhere like that? Because I'm not seeing the sea, but I know there was these big doors open and this wow reunion time.
Yes, but not a happy reunion.
Right. I understand because just as he's shown that he was there and seen by somebody when that reunion happened, correct? Somebody said I could feel him.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Because this is the way he's just come in. I fully get he's just shown me this image. I do understand what occurred there. But he was saying he was there. And this is why this emotion, because it was really overwhelming. You know, he was just making his presence known well beforehand here. And you understand the link with the dog as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dog's over there now with him, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because they're both here. He loved his dog, and the dog loved him. I don't know which one of them loved the other one most, actually.
Yeah, that would be true.
Yeah. And tell me, please, as well, I'm seeing a flag draped as well. You would understand that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He took a very sharp intake of breath there with that, just for the emotion side.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, I am awful on geography, and apologies, I don't even know my own country, so I certainly don't know. Is O'Hara something significant? O'Hara?
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. Tell me at the end, because I have no idea. But he's just stepping forward. Right, sir. And you understand this resolute about him. He's just got a very strong ethic about things.
Yes.
He would not let people down. Oh, got you. He would
Yes.
not let people down because he's just saying here, there was a moment I felt as though I'd let people down by not coming back. You would understand that.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah. He said, but I am there. He said, it's even better now. He said, they can't draft me anymore. He's got a nice humor there as well with that.
Well, he wasn't drafted. He volunteered to go.
But this is his humor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got this humor. I was brought up in a forces family and I recognize this energy very well. And I know he was an excellent soldier. I know he was excellent at it. Because again of this, I'm going to say devotion as well to duty.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to do it and I did it, and I'm proud that I did it. And always just snapped a salute in there as well. And you would understand, please, that the ribbon,
Yes.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
have that,
Yes, I do.
yeah, because he's saying good. It couldn't go to anybody better.
Mm.
Said, oh, careful. Um, Back off a wee bit. He said, from one hero to another. All right.
All
I
right.
apologize, but yeah, he just said from one hero to another. And again, this great wealth of emotion and love coming through for you. He's talking about you today because he's just to say, that he is as much a part of your life. He's never gone. And tell me, please, would we be looking at something to do with blood pressure with yourself and medication for that?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's just sort of like going like this and going through the pills and counting them up and just making sure that you've taken the full allowance of them. So would there be sometimes one day we may forget or
No, but I often drop them on the floor while I'm trying to put them in my mouth.
okay, but I could just see him doing this. But when he's doing this, he's looking approving. And do you know what? His love for you is just wow. Absolutely wow.
Yes.
I'm really holding back the emotion here to allow him to talk. He said, I'm always by your side. Tell me, please, a hospital stay of late?
Not of length.
But there was, since he's passed, there was this hospital stay because I can see him
Oh,
by a bed.
for me, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
apologies for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
A couple of them.
right. But he's just saying, of course I'm there. Where else would I be? Where else would I be? You send out a thought every day, he tells me.
I'm very grateful to hear this.
Yeah. And of course he receives it. Oh, show me that again. You know what? I'm going to have to go on a botany course because sometimes spirit will bring through flowers, and unless it's a daffodil or a dandelion, I get a little bit confused. This is a yellow flower. There's a yellow flower that would have a significance.
I bought sunflowers yesterday and
Wonderful.
put them on the table by my front window just before I got on this call.
And that's how close he is. That's how close he is, Sheila. How beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for being.
Thank you.
All right, my darling. Take care. God bless.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Emotional. I can see you're feeling it as well.
Yes, I
know.
am.
He was not hanging about that one. It was wonderful. Thank you, sir. Okay. I have a lady drawing close here, and I just want to say sister with this lady coming in. Okay. She's playing a bit coy with me, which is always very interesting because it does tell me a wee bit about their nature, because I'm just saying, okay. And she's just looking at me and waiting, and I'm like, no, you need to fill in this part. She knows that. So I've got a lady here. I'm very quick-witted. I've got a very incisive mind with this lady. I've also got a lady that she would say things and you almost had to do a double take on them at times because you were like, what did she just say? you really had to listen to this lady. But I know she's got a humour, and I know too, well, with this quick-wittedness there, that she would use that. She knew how she was, and she would use that, and she would have a bit of fun as well with people, not at people's expense. Never at people's expense, because I'm working with this energy and peeling down. I know I've got somebody. In fact, I want to say there is some nursing energy about this lady as well. Whether this is carer, nurse, or childminder, but there is this caring energy there as well. And that's where she really shone. That's where she really shone and really opened up. So when she's in life and with people, there was not a distance, but there was almost a presence, a persona. But I know when I go into this caring, nursing energy with her, that I've got a different person because I just really open up and I really blossom. And I've got this amazing eyes with her as well because she's just, oh, I'm near the coast. I'm near the coast and it's beautiful. I know this isn't in the UK. I want to say California. Ooh, we're putting it out there a bit. Because I've just got this dramatic coastline there. And there's memories there of that visit. So is anybody there? And again, if I've got one part wrong, like the relationship or whatever, absolutely fine. We don't get everything spot on 100% all the time. Stacy Finnegan.
Hi there. Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
Hi. I understand her to be someone that's like a sister. She's my sister-in-law, and
Okay.
we lived in California in San Diego. And she was just a delight with, especially with caring for people. She cared more about others than herself, even while she was so
Got it.
sick. So,
Brilliant. Brilliant.
and
Thank
I
you.
understand the sense of humor also because we both had it.
Thank you. Sister-in-law. Yeah, definitely. I'll go for that. And thank you so much for that. I really went out on a limb there with California.
That's what got me. I was
But yeah,
listening.
I trusted. And oh gosh, do you know what? She's just really come alive now. Hearing
Mm,
your voice, she just really, you will feel the presence of this lady around you as we are talking, because
I
this is
do,
how it
yes.
works. This
Yeah.
is from spirit, through spirit, to spirit, back to spirit. That
Yeah.
makes this wonderful circle of community. She said, "Will you be quiet?" Oh, okay. Yeah, you're gonna have a hard job communicating if I shut up, love, but you carry on. She's got a great sense of humor.
She
She
does,
has.
yes. Mm,
And she's one of these wonderful people that when she laughs, the whole face lights up.
absolutely, yes.
It just does. It just brings this wealth again of emotion and love.
Right.
Take me to that. Tell me what type. This is a cancer condition
It
taking this
is.
lady over.
Yes.
And this is what they call carcinoma,
Yes. Oh my gosh.
melanoma. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And she's saying, I don't want to dwell there, but I just want to throw that in there just to prove it's me.
Uh,
She's a taskmaster as well. I love it. Um, I like this lady. I'm taking this lady home with me at the end of the evening because she's fun.
Good
She
luck.
really is. And again, a link with animals here with a, is it like
Yes.
two white Scotty dogs, something like that?
She did have, I know there was one white one. I think the other one was brownish maybe, but yes,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, but I can just sense that energy there as well and that love. But again, I want to go into this, the caring side of her, because that was when she just blossomed.
she did.
And she got things done as well when she was in that energy.
She sure did. Yes.
She really did. She stood up and was, what's the word? Tell me. When somebody speaks up for somebody, arr,
Yep.
yeah, people she cared for, she was the
I I know what
Uh,
you mean. I can't think of it either.
yeah, it's that word. Advocate.
Yes, that's
There we
it.
go. You know, she just put an avocado on the table in front of me.
Oh, how funny.
It's a good job we
It
wanted to
worked.
it definitely worked. Thank you, my darling. Where does the name of Hazel fit in, please?
Oh, gosh. I'm not sure. I think it's on her side of the family, but I don't know a lot about her family, but it's,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. But she just mentioned the name of Hazel coming in there as well.
thinking grandmother. I'm not sure. I'll look on that though.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But as I said that name as well of Hazel, I do feel a alongside this healing energy, this wonderful caring ability this lady had, there is also a love of nature because I just want to be, you know, the landscape I'm seeing. I need to go to California now because it looks stunning.
Exactly.
But I know I've got this just, I would recharge
Yeah,
amongst the tree. Well, they're not trees, they're massive. We only have little trees over here, they're like that, but you've got these great big things.
very
I
big.
know I'd
Yes.
recharge in that. And also that coastline sound, I can still hear it, the waves crashing, because that would be the Atlantic, wouldn't it? And crashing or Pacific. I
It's
don't
Pacific.
the Pacific. Yeah. I can hear that crashing in the background. So I know I've got this connection with nature. And I've got a faintness with her as well. Of regarding life after life and what happens when we die, because she's been with people when they're passed.
Yes. Yes.
And she's witnessed those transitions which left a thought with her.
Yes.
Yeah. And she said, I found that fascinating. She said, and when I got the news, although the fight was there,
Hmm.
she knew,
Oh, yes.
yeah, I'm going to fight this.
Yes.
She
She
knew.
did.
She
Yeah.
knew. And she said, you know what? I'm eternally grateful for those ones where I had the privilege to be there at the time of passing because they made my passing easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah. There's a man and a woman with her at the time of passing.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. And they both commented on how peaceful it was.
Yes. Yeah.
It was just a sigh, and that was it. And she made that transition.
Yes. She was ready.
Yeah. But she's, bless your heart. Thank you. She's bringing her thoughts and attention around you at this time. And she's come back into this caring energy again. And she's just gone to, it's just like she's fluffing up pillows for you, just to make you a little bit more comfortable. Don't tell me why. There's a
Okay.
reason we're going down this route. But she's just bringing in this little bit of comfort, oh, support for you.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know when I mention that word of support, I know I'm being taken to the mind, and I know I'm being taken to conflict in the mind of thoughts about people and life. You understand that?
I understand it. Yes.
Yeah. And she's saying, come on, don't cry, don't cry, I'm here. You should be able to smell something about her as well. There's something there. There's a sweet scent.
I
And I
can't
just
smell it right now, but I'll be aware for it.
Yeah, it's this sweet scent just wafted, just to reiterate she is there.
Yeah.
And she said, "You'll get through this." She said, "You'll get through this. You'll get through this." She's offering advice. The spirit world will give us advice. If we do it, great. If we don't do it, great. All right. But I do
Yeah.
tend to trust their advice because they
She
can
knows
see
I'll listen to her.
it. But she's just offering this advice of just getting away from it for a while because it seems like it's taking on its own life a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's there. I open my eyes and shut my eyes, and it's there. And she's just trying to bring in ways and ideas to just give you that break from it so you can go back with fresh eyes, because sometimes where it becomes overwhelming, we can't see the wood for the trees sort of thing. So she's there giving that support, giving that advice. Tell me, please, have you investigated something like aromatherapy? Because I'm getting an awful lot of scents coming in.
I do. Yeah, I have different aromas here that I use for calm.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Because she's bringing all that in. I know I've got a very strong cedar smell here.
Oh, okay.
And ooh, I like it because it livens me up. It's a wonderful scent.
I'll
But she's
pull it out.
just saying, that just to try and break the cycle a bit, however you can do it. But the main message is you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. It doesn't kill us, it makes it stronger. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And nothing can kill us, darling.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
know.
die. Yeah.
Sometimes you need to hear it though.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much.
My pleasure. And thank you for being here, Stacey. How am I doing for time, darling Sandra?
Oh, you probably do one more if that sounds
Okay.
good to you.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm lost now. I'm in the other
No,
world now.
keep on going.
Oh, it's interesting. I can hear, and don't panic, I'm not going to sing it, but I can hear Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms, which is a very emotive song and a very powerful song. And I have a gentleman here who wants to talk. Ooh, okay, I'll use that word. I want a gentleman here who is a comrade. That's not my diction. Um, the gentleman I've got is he's very strong character. I've got a big build to him. I know I've got a big character, so let me work a little bit more on the build. I'm solid. I'm very solid. Not being disrespectful, if I met this man in the street, I would go, oh, okay, not be frightened of him, but just be, oh, right, okay, I want to get the measure of you, and because you're getting the measure of me. So he would look at people and almost with a challenge, almost with a challenge. Um, yeah, a little bit gruff, but in a good way. I trust this guy. I really trust this guy. I know he would not be one for what he says, idiots. All right, so apologies if any are on here listening, but this is exactly what he said. He wouldn't tolerate idiots. He would be very direct about things. A lot of people sort of like shied away. But again, this energy here of I want to link to another man, and I'm using the word comrade, and I do feel there is this military link between the two here.
Does someone understand this information? If yes, press your raise hand button. Are you getting that thought, perhaps?
I'm not saying this is a regiment, but I can hear artillery. I can hear artillery going off in the background. But I feel this is on training. I feel training exercises here. And I'm in almost, I'm not going to say, when I say desert, I don't mean overseas desert. I mean a very arid landscape. But I feel this was training in the US. Anybody understand this gentleman? Because he's just here, and I'm not going to tell him to go because, quite frankly, I don't want to. He's bigger than me.
Who understands this man or thinks they might?
What is that? Tell me again. Texas. Texas. This is wonderful. I'm getting all these lectures and ideas about the geography of the state. I have no idea, seriously. But I want links to Texas here because that's the Lone Star, isn't it? That's what I'm hearing, the Lone Star.
Patricia has her hand raised. Hello, Patricia.
Hello, Sandra. I don't know if it's me. My husband was very big and he was in the military stationed in Texas, but I don't know. He wasn't very aggressive.
Okay, I don't mean aggressive. That's
Uh-huh.
it's choosing the words correctly. It's not aggressive, but there was this air about him that you would just sort of like go, oh, okay, I need to be on the ball here a bit. I need to.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, my character, my personality, I go in a room and it's like, ta-da, here I am, everybody. This gentleman would not have done that. He would have walked in a room and I'm not being disrespectful, but just as I was saying, walked in a room, I've almost followed it up with and looked for the bar.
Oh,
Get a drink down me. I'm not saying he drank excessively, but yeah, I'll go in there and find the bar. Do you understand this, Patricia?
when he was young, yes.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
And would you understand, please, this link with a comrade?
Yes,
You do. Wonderful.
yes.
Because as I say, that is not my wordage. So I know when I say a word, it's not in my normal vocabulary that, yeah, it's from the other side here. He's a bit of a romantic as well.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Because his whole nature and demure has just shifted.
Oh,
And he's just proffered this one perfect, beautiful red rose.
oh,
But I feel he's giving this red rose back to you.
thank you.
You understand this?
Oh, yes.
He's giving it back to you because he said it's as perfect as the day I received it, and it's as perfect as you are. Oh, he's so smooth.
No.
Oh, I can see why you married him. Oh my goodness me, what a man. And that, as I said, this whole character, I think he was probably a little bit wary of me, actually, yeah, because I don't think my personality he would have looked upon and gone, yeah, I'm not sure about you. I don't know how to take you. Which is fine, absolutely fine. But yeah, he's just got this beautiful. Yeah, he's such a smoothie here. I am just right on the edge of my awareness here. Show me the color again. Would you understand a red pickup truck somewhere?
A pickup truck, yes, but not red.
But not red. But not
Mhm.
red.
Yeah.
So this is a bit beat up as well. This pickup truck.
No.
Sorry?
No, he always had a new pickup truck.
You always had a new one. So right,
Uh-huh.
forgive me, that's my
Yeah.
misinterpretation there.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. He would be handy looking under the bonnet of things as well, correct?
Not really.
Not
Not
really.
really. Not really, no.
Well, he's got a different opinion, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. Well, when he was young, he had to. We couldn't afford to have somebody fix everything.
He stood his ground there because
Okay.
you should have seen the look he gave from under the bonnet then. It was like, what?
Oh, no. Oh,
Ah. And do you have letters from him?
yes.
Yes. Because again, this shift in his energy, he's just got a little bit melancholy there.
Yes.
Don't go too far. He's talking about courting days.
Okay.
And he had to work is courting for you, you would understand it.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, this is his words, okay? If you're going to get angry with him. That she made me work. He made me work. Would you understand, please? I've just seen a flash of this, a box of chocolates in a heart shape.
Yes.
Yeah. From him to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he just to back up, he really had to work at this. But he said, you know what? He said it was the best. Oh, goodness me, he's so smooth. He does not move. He said it was the best day's work in my life. Best
Oh,
day's work in my life. Tell me, please, were you married outside?
no,
Photos
no,
outside? 'Cause-
no, but it was the coldest day of the year.
Oh,
Maybe
right.
that's what he's thinking about.
No, 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 no. I've just seen this image. Tell me, please, with your children then, is there a marriage outside?
Not that I can think of. I'm sorry.
No, that should significant. Okay, where are we talking about this then?
Oh, my grandson is getting married outside next weekend. That's what he's talking about.
There we go. Thank you. Because he's just presented me with the most beautiful scene. It really
Wow.
is the most beautiful scene.
Wow.
Do you know what he's just said? He said, it's going to be my chance to walk you down the aisle again.
Oh, how sweet. Thank
How
you.
wonderful is that? And he's just shown me a very close up of he's very strong, isn't he?
Yes, he was.
He's got muscles on muscles. His biceps look like my thighs. He's got your arm like that, and he's laughing with this. He really is
Oh,
laughing with this.
thank you.
But he's bringing his thoughts to you again, and he says, I know this time of year weighs heavily on you. But yeah, he's just saying, it's all right. It's all right. We'll be there. Tell me, please, are there Christmas cards as well from other family members in the house?
From Christmas, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because I've just brought that in. He would have been aware of these. I can see
Uh,
Christmas cards,
okay.
and they are tied with a ribbon as well. They've just got a ribbon. It's either a ribbon or a really thick elastic band, but there's just something
Oh,
about
wow. Yeah.
something about them. Because that's where we're going with this. Because he's talking about memories, and he
Oh,
said, "You know what?" He said, "Every time you remember, I'm right there.
oh,
I'm
thank you.
right there, and I am the other half of your I am the other half of your memory, and it will always be so."
Thank you.
Okay. What a wonderful. Thank you so much, Patricia. I had to work. But
Oh, thank you so
enjoy
much.
the wedding because
Yes, thank you.
and just remember that as well. When you're there,
I
put,
will.
put
Thank you
your
so
arm out
much.
because he's there. He's already there. He's waiting for you.
Wonderful. The wedding is in Paris,
Whoa! Wow!
Paris, Texas.
Oh no! Oh, okay. As I say, you know, an outside wedding in Paris, Europe at the moment. It's not the nicest time of year.
No.
How beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much,
No,
Patricia.
thank you.
God
Thank you.
bless.
Oh, that was beautiful. Lawrence, thank you so much for being with us today, being our medium and the wonderful address. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you can agree that was emotional and they're with us and we will see them again and they're still so much part of our lives. So thank you so much. Just some announcements. First of all, home base is wedon'tdie.com. You can sign up for next week's Sunday gathering. Our friends Carrie and Phil will be back next week. Also on the main page of We Don't Die, if you scroll down to the bottom, if you don't yet have a copy of my book, We Don't Die, and you'd like to read it, a free PDF copy. Chapter 10 is about grief. I think it's one of the most important chapters that we have, just why we grieve, we know what it feels like, but things we can do to move through it. It's very powerful, as well as there's a lot of inspiration and good things in there. But at the bottom of the page at wedon'tdie.com, if you enter your name and your email address, it says you get the first few chapters. It's the entire book. All right. That's the secret there. Also on that main page, I have 2 new podcast episodes on We Don't Die Radio. This past week, I spoke to 4 parents from Helping Parents Heal, along with Dr. Mark Pitstick. They've put together a book of over 130 parent stories of their children communicating from the afterlife. But the stories that these parents share are so touching, you won't even believe it. I mean, it's really incredible. And then on Shades of the Afterlife, my other podcast, not a video, this is just audio. There's a listener by the name of Richard who listened to over 200 episodes of my podcast in 45 days. And then he took out a legal pad and he wrote down notes of he listened to again all the episodes that really made a difference for him. And then he typed it all out and he emailed it to me. And I decided to share his notes on the most recent episode, all about the biggest, juiciest bits of gold about life, about the afterlife, and words of inspiration, and talk about a labor of love. I never asked him to do it. The show just is so meaningful to him, and I'm getting so many positive responses from people about the difference that it's made. So you can find that at We Don't Die. Also, our new classes have just begun, but it's not too late to join in. Everything is available by video replay, so you can easily catch up to what you have missed and join the live classes. We have Trance in the Altered States with Scott Milligan and myself. It's just an opportunity to learn to close the eyes, close down that busy mind, and blend with the love from the unseen world. We have Carrie and Phil on Tuesday. Actually, they're going to be doing a demonstration of mediumship. You get a taste of a demonstration on our Sunday gathering, but starting at the exact same time we started today, we've got a full 90-minute medium demonstration. So you might want to join us for that. On Wednesday, we have a new class called Exploring Color and Automatic Writing. Those are fun. And then on Thursday, you get to tap into your psychic sense and learn about mediumship and working with the spirit world and your soul. So those are classes that are going on. The end of the month, there's going to be a new class with Scott Milligan and myself. Steps, I can't remember the name of it already, but he's talking about physical mediumship, trance, and the altered states. Isn't that funny that I can't remember? And I was the one who created it. Steps to Eternity, it's called. Yes, Steps to Eternity. And some wonderful lecture and some experiencing of quieting your mind and having that gentle blend with the unseen world. So again, all at wedon'tdie.com. A shout out to those of you who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. You know, we never pass around the plate, but we do appreciate it if you're able to. No pressure if you're not. If you go to wedon'tdie.com and you click on the Sunday gathering page, if you wish to donate, you can. But a thank you to those of you who have made it possible. We really appreciate it. And last, I just want to share just a couple of things as we go into the end of our time together today. There's been a lot going on in the world, and there's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of worry. There's a lot of fear. It's so easy, and this is what our human minds do, is we pay attention to what we don't have or what's wrong. I'm going to ask, in honor of Remembrance and Veterans Day, to just look for what's right. Look for what's right. Look for what's good. Take some time and be grateful for what we have. Because even, I tell you, if we had everything we wanted, the nicest house, the nicest health, the nicest relationship, all the money in the world, guess what? That mind is still going to be looking for what's wrong. That's just how we're built. So take some time and just see what's right. Give those in your life a big hug. If you're alone, you can make a phone call, send a message. You can talk to your friends and loved ones in the spirit world. And don't be surprised when thoughts and images and memories come flooding back. That's how they communicate with us. All right. So that's all I need to say about that. Look for what's right and say thank you. So with that, I would like to turn it over to Lawrence for our closing prayer.
Thank you, Sandra. Great honor again to be in your company and with you too, Darren. Thank you so much. So, dear ones, As we take this leave now from this time together, this new virtual world in which we find ourselves enmeshed, let us take away the energy, the thoughts, and the message. And the message is that we do not die, that our loved ones are not dead. They are alive and functioning in ways that we struggle to understand. But at times like this, their influence, their presence is there for us to feel, to us to relish, for us to know that we never walk alone. Amen.
Thank you so much, Lawrence, and thank you, Darren. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, wherever in the world you are. Thank you to our loved ones in the spirit world. And just a special message. We've got some community members who have had some loss this week. One beautiful lady in particular, her son had a terrible accident and he is now in the spirit world. So for any of our community that is suffering right now, maybe this week we could spend a little extra time sending some love to our community members. We can always use it. Now, going into our closing song, a beautiful song Lawrence has picked. This song is for all of you fighting battles alone. So the song will be played, but I've chosen a beautiful video of the Royal Air Force doing an air show so we can watch an air show while we are listening to some powerful words. Here we go. Beautiful. Thank you again, Darren and Lawrence and family, Sunday Gathering family. Big hugs and smooches to all. We'll see you next Sunday, if not before. Remember, go to wedon'tdie.com, click on the store page. You'll see everything we've got coming up. All right. Bye, everyone.